Supp Tankers! Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today another toxic night session. Today we are in Bourrasque, tier 8 French medium tank. Totally a meta tank nowadays, guys. Totally a meta tank. So on toxic nights we're gonna maybe concentrate on more of a meta tanks and play with those tanks right now, because obviously there's a lot of them in the queues and you see them on the battlefield all the time. Maybe you want to drive one of those as well. So we'll concentrate on its strength and its weaknesses. Although when we're talking about Borrasque, there isn't really any weaknesses. Maybe with exception of armor. Obviously this thing doesn't have no armor. It counts on camo. So I have a full camo loadout on this thing. I'll leave the commander build and the equipment setup in the comment section below so that you guys can take a look at what I'm running on this tank. But anyway, today I have a fantastic battle for you guys. We are on map Murovanka, and what we like doing here, no matter which side you get spawned on, I like to come into this area here so that we can extend the vision on the field, because winning the field here is quite important. I would say it's not guaranteeing you a win in any shape or form, but definitely extending vision here is important, because you can then relocate, especially in a tank like Bourrasque that has very good camo. You can move around on the field, use your camo and shoot tanks from angles that they're not expecting. So that's what we're trying to do here. And yeah, we run into a couple of tier 7s here. That should be very easy task to dispose of them. So we are in a tier 9 matchup in this game. We don't have to face tier 10s, which is pretty optimal, to be honest, because even tier 9s usually don't have a lot of armor. Historically, the most armor is at tier 10, so if you're in this kind of matchup scenario, you still end up having relatively good games in a Borrasque. Now, as you noticed, I'm carrying mostly APCR rounds in this tank, and the reason is two-some. First of all, this is my stat padding tank. Yeah, you heard it. I have few of those, and to be honest, I don't really pad stats, but in this situation, this tank can only carry APCRs. It doesn't make sense to carry AP rounds, which don't have very good penetration. APCR rounds are all around much better on this tank and not as derpy, so you can lead shots a little bit better with those shells, and extra penetration provides you a little bit of extra protection at tier 10. If you are facing, tough armor, you have shells that can actually pen. Obviously, it's going to be a problem at long distances, because as you probably already know, APCR rounds drop penetration over distance. So you got to make sure that you bring this tank as close as you can so that you can maximize the power of APCR round. But as you notice here from this position, we can do quite a little bit of damage. So that's what we're trying to do. Playing off our team right now. So hopefully our team on the west side of the map can hold, and then we can win the field over here. That's the idea. So right now playing very passive, looking for shots. I don't have to be moving right now. I don't have to be progressing. I still have shots here. Gonna get a bit frustrated here. This Spick didn't actually move backwards all the way. I thought he was gonna move. That was a bad shot on me. So we're gonna reload here, and then we're gonna rethink our situation. Now this game is gonna be interesting, because first of all, we're gonna run into a situation where we're losing pretty badly, and we're gonna have to put our carry pants on or clutch pants on and figure out what to do here. So we're gonna end up with 1v3 scenario at the end of the game. And maybe when we get to that point, I'll kind of try to explain to you my thinking process as to, what I was doing and what I was trying to accomplish. But in the meantime, we still have shots, so we're still gonna hang around this position. As long as I have shots, I'm gonna hang around here, and then I'm gonna think about helping my team. So right now, it seems like it's a good opportunity for us to move up. That T55A that was earlier spotted at the 0 line is still there, but if we drive up straight to A7, A8 position, we will be able to shut down the Tiger. Once we do that, we can deal with T55A. In the meantime, we spot this Samoa, so we're going to try to put a couple of shells into him. I think we're able to pen 1 out of 2. Yeah, the other shell derps, unfortunately, so we weren't able to pick up a second penetrating hit on that guy. But we're gonna reload now. We're gonna move to the top side of the map here, where we can put some crossfire into this Tiger 1. So that's the idea here. Let's see if we can put a couple of shells into him. 1, 2, and we weren't even spotted. That's the advantage of Borrasque. It's just crazy, stupid good, especially if you have full camo loadout. Tier 7s have trouble detecting you all the time. Never mind Tier 9s and Tier 10s. Tier 10s probably have better chance. There's a lot of good tanks at Tier 10 that have super camos and pretty good view range. So you probably won't be able to play as freely as you would at Tier 9. But Tier 7s really have no chance, to be honest, with this tank. So definitely worth the pickup if you're considering it. Okay, so we find ourselves now in a 5v7 scenario, and this is the situation where we're going to start losing significantly. This Lynx over there is going to be trouble because he's going to go after RTD. I was thinking about shooting him from a distance, but then I'm like, you know what? May as well use my mobility, get closer to him, and guarantee the pens, because with these wheelies, I found sometimes the shells just don't go through. They hit the wheels, and I don't know, I've seen ghost shells on those as well. So I'm not sure if the models are kind of not designed properly or whatever, but I wanted to make sure I guaranteed that pen, so we helped RTD and we shot him down. Now we're gonna move back to the north side. We're gonna try to respot the north and see if we can pick up any shots on anybody there. Unfortunately, our team lost the west side of the map already. So at this point I was thinking, you know what, they're gonna be probably pushing over to our side of the map. So may as well position ourselves in a position where we can be effective, extend our view range, and help our friendlies fire at these guys. Right now I have 2 friendlies that I can work with only, the artillery and that TD that we saved earlier. And our artillery player does a very smart move here, relocates. He doesn't stay in one position. He was paying attention to the map, and he's gonna drop into advantageous position for him to be in. So we're gonna post in this bush right here. Hopefully we can outspot whoever is trying to approach our side of the map. In these situations, normally you want to play very passive defensive. You don't want to be running around and trading. HP is king right now. You want to make sure you maintain your HP as much as you can. And I will make a couple mistakes here, and I'll point them out here anyway. Like here, for instance, I should be shooting this guy already. But I don't know, I should have at least tracked him or something, because I allowed them to get too close to me. And when I fired, he actually spotted me. So that was a mistake. Once you have a spot on something, make sure you shoot right away, because once the opposition gets into your detection range, you'll be spotted and you'll lose your HP, just like I did right there. I didn't have to lose this HP. But now we have a couple spots here. Somwa gets taken out by RTD, which played a very decent game as well. I appreciate his help here. You always need a friendly that helps out in these situations, because it's a team game at the end of the day, and there's no way you can kill all the opposition tanks. Although in a tank like Borrasque, if you play it right, it is possible to go into a scenario where you face multiple tanks and you can still win. Now, I was a bit worried about this standard B, but as you notice here, he's not detecting us at all. He probably should be, so his crew is probably not the best. So I was thinking, I'm gonna take a shot here. Maybe I have a potential to take him out of the game here. Can we do that? Unfortunately, our shell goes low, and we bounce that shot, yet he puts a big shell into us and spots us at the same time. Unfortunately, he was looking in my direction, and he had very quick reaction time. That was a good shot by him. He even tracked me, so I had to use my repair kit. But now we're gonna have to try to see if we can shut down this Wheezy here. We have a shot at him, very narrow. Unfortunately, we missed that shot, and now we're detected and targeted by artillery and those 2 tanks that are in the field right now. So we're gonna have to get the hell out of Dodge. We're gonna have to get out. So now, what's the next step here? Obviously, we want to create a crossfire. RTD doesn't move very fast, so he's gonna stay there. We're gonna have to try to get to the north side of the map, create a little bit of a separation between us and the opposition, maybe come from a different angle and try to put side shots into whoever is approaching RTD's position. So that's what we're gonna do. So this should be enough of a distance right here to engage these guys. We see this Tiger 1. We're gonna take him out of the game. That's the first step. We get spotted, unfortunately, but we have a shot into this standard B, but he ducks down and we're not able to hit him, and we're spotted at the same time. So this is when you have to start making correct decisions. Our TD goes down, unfortunately. I'm on a reload. There's no way I can engage these guys, even though I know they're low health. But the two tanks alive on their team is Su 130 PM, the Soviet TD, with a very high alpha. I think he's got like 500 alpha, and Standard B obviously 400 alpha, a little bit below 400 alpha. So they could easily two-tap me and I'll be out of the game. That's the last thing I want to do. So what I have to do is draw separation. I have to run away. I know I can outspot Standard B because he couldn't spot me when I was stationary. But the Russian TD, I'm not sure. I don't know if he'll be able to spot me. I don't know what crew he's running. So we're going to go after RD first, but I don't want to get too close. I don't want to get spotted. As you notice here, we spotted RD, but we're drawing separation from RD so that we can get a little bit of higher ground, so we should be able to hit him. I was pretty sure he was in that little divot there, and unfortunately first shot misses, second shot misses, and that is the problem with this RD. If you're trying to aim at that gun, normally the shell is going to miss to the left, to the right, and you're not going to be able to pen him at all. Now, next critical move here. I don't want to stick around in this position because the RD player might have been clicking on the map and telling his friends that I'm probably somewhere in the middle of the map. So last thing I want to do is remain in that position and get caught there. So what we're going to do is we're going to run away. We're going to deal with RD later. In the meantime, we just spot the Standard B. So I know he's trying to approach our last position and he's trying to get us out of the game. But he doesn't know where we are right now. And we completely lost him. So we should be able to circle all the way around here and try to come back into central area of the map and see if we can spot them one by one. If we can isolate them to 1v1 situation, we are able to win this encounter with our two-shot punch as well as over 600 hit points. We're still able to carry this. But the key thing here is to make sure we isolate them. So we're going to do a little bit of driving here. Obviously, we don't know where they are at the moment. I'm pretty sure they're going to be somewhere in the central area of the map trying to look for me. So I want to draw separation as far as possible. In the meantime, we want to spot the last location in the northeast quadrant. Could be that we might be able to find the Russian TD over there. Maybe deal with him first. Maybe we'll be able to spot the artillery crossing through the middle or something like that. So we might be able to put a couple of shells into him. We're going to try to stay as far away from the middle as possible to make sure that we use our camo to the best of our abilities. At the same time, I'm just driving around here. I'm not spotting anything. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? They might be going for the cap. So that's why you saw me turn over here. And I was going to go back, try to set up in a position where I can spot the cap. But then I'm like, you know what? Let's at least get rid of the RD. Because at this point, I think the TD and Standard B probably decided to look for me on the south side of the map. So I was assuming that the artillery is going to be here all by itself, isolated. So we're going to drive up into the north side here to see if we can spot the middle hill area at D4 first over here. We can't spot anything, so now we're going to scoot back into the middle, into the C4, D4 area, where we can get a little bit of high ground, so maybe we can respot the RD and take it out of the game. That was the idea here. So let's see what happens. We're going to come up over here and we're going to try to spot it, but we're spotted. All of a sudden we get spotted and we're not spotting anything. So at this point I knew that it was a TD spotting me and I was in big trouble over here because TD's probably sitting in the bush and I could be dead right here. But oh my goodness, the shell comes in. And because the TD fired and got spotted, we're able to put a freebie into the SU 130 PM. And now we're going to have to make circles over here, drive around, make sure RD misses its shell. Lucky there, RD missed the shell. And we went for the reload right away because, you know, we want to have that spare extra shell in case we need it when we face Standard B. And that's where Borrasque is awesome, because if you miss the first shell or if you bounce it, then you can always use second shell to finish up the opposition. Now the time is running out, that's why we're going right through the middle. We just want to spot the Standard B and take him out of the game as quickly as we can. But he set himself up in not a good position because he didn't expect me going through the middle. So he spots me just when I actually approached him here. And now we're just going to go for it. Even if we take a hit, we should be able to take him out. And we do. Now we're going to have to juke the RD shot. We're going to put a shell into the RD. RD already fired actually, so we don't have to juke it. It missed us, which we are a little bit lucky on that. Overall, like, there was luck element in this game because Su 130 PM could have hit me, taken me out of the game. And it would have been all over right there. But we're gonna wiggle over here, make sure we fool the RD so that it doesn't know where I am. And now it's just a matter of spotting it and taking it out of the game. This should be final touch right there. We take the RD down to secure the win for the team. Pretty nice game in a Borrasque, but it just shows you the Borrasque's ability if you end up in a situation like this, so you can actually do this. It gives you this carry ability or clutch ability in current meta because of its camo and the 2-pop potential. So we ended up with, and I didn't realize at this point, 8 kills, 5.3k damage. We also had about 1000 of assisted damage. Quite nice game in a Borrasque. Not until now, when the medal screen came in, I realized that I'm sitting at Radley's. I wasn't paying attention to the number of kills, guys. When I was playing the game, I was just trying to focus on what my next step is and what do I need to do in order to prevail in this situation. So that wasn't even on my mind, but at the end of the day, it turned out to be a very nice game. We finished with 2.3k base XP. We fired 28 shells. We had 18 penetrations and 10 critical hits. Fantastic game in the Borrasque, guys. I have another one of those for you, which I'm gonna show at some point. Also, a come from behind win with quite nice combined damage result. So that game will be coming soon, and share my thoughts with respect to how it's done on Prokhorovka, which is one of the easiest maps to play in a Borrasque. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking, Space Bandit. Checking out.